And we are live. Live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Slip Into the Night, episode 36. The Pendulum Is Swinging. Back the other way. For those of you that get that reference, you're welcome. Doing this is a Holly vessel. I've been kind of all over the place this past week. I got puppies coming. I got a big pregnant dog down there on the floor, and that I decided to take in a while ago, and come to find out she was pregnant. Kind of knew she was going into it, but I was like in denial. And like literally until I saw the puppies moving in her stomach, I was going, yeah, no, maybe she's just putting on some weight. Oh yeah, I've been dealing with that, and I had a family member that passed away. So it's been a pretty crazy week. So I like threw it to Holly, and she suggested dowsing / the use of pendulums, which is I thought was a great idea. It's something we haven't talked about really, and I think it's a integral part of a lot of the systems that are used. Not necessarily like in the forefront so much, but just that they're utilized.
Yeah, a lot of different thought or belief systems use pendulums.
Yeah,
It doesn't really belong to any one group, but it's just a tool that it can be used to help sense energy, and it can be used for divining, and it can just be as simple as a weight at the end of a string.
Yeah. And I mean, water dowsing has gone on for ages.
Yeah, water dowsing is a very old, a very, very old tradition where they would use what were called dowsing rods, which are just pieces of metal that are held in the hand.
Well, if you want to go way old school, Holly, they'd cut like a willow branch.
Yeah.
It had to be like from certain types of trees, and they'd go out and cut a certain like a V-shaped stick, and they'd use that. There was some strange tradition that went along with all of that, but very interesting stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I know what you're talking about with the metal, the rods.
Yes.
Like, because there are some people that suggest that you should almost have the metal rods in something in your hands, not so much holding them, circular device around them.
Yes.
So that they move independently.
Agreed. Yes, that is my understanding as well.
Yeah. Did you ever see if I know that people douse for water. I had heard that people douse for oil as well.
You can douse for a lot of things. It's you can do like gemstones. I'm actually looking at that right. Buried metal.
Yeah.
Grave sites.
I know some guys with metal detectors that would love to know that.
It's a kind of a way of using the Earth's energies and the currents and the ley lines to try to find whatever you're looking for. But in the past, people tended to look for treasures and for sources of water because you wanted to have a good, reliable source of clean water in the time before, running water and the companies that come and like dig your well. Like you wanted
before you had like actual plumbing.
Right. Like you wanted to be able to locate a good like.
You want to be able to wash your ass, people. Let's face facts, Holly.
To godliness, they say.
Yes. Holly. Absolutely.
Well,
You ever just go to a hotel, Holly, and just take like 4 showers a day?
well, because I was in college, one of the ways I made college money for college was as a hotel housekeeper, and I actually can't relax in hotels very well.
Yeah. Like
I look for all the cleaning mistakes. I just unconsciously do it because I'm the housekeeper.
Oh, whenever I'm on vacation, it's somebody, and it's I don't have to worry about the water.
Yeah.
Like I could just like take as many fucking hot showers as I want a day.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
I fucking do.
Yeah. But that is really nice. Yeah.
But yeah.
I appreciate the hot soak.
Oh yeah. But yeah, and so the ability to find that has been like tantamount for ages now, since the advent of plumbing. Thank you to the Romans. We appreciate it. Those of us in the modern age appreciate running fucking water.
Well, and even just having good water, because you can douse and maybe find some water, but it might be salty,
Right.
or have a really bad mineral taste or bitterness to it.
Well, I grew up in a town. They found out later on, huge sections of the town, the wells that were being dug were poisoned with arsenic.
Oh my god!
From underground, yeah, like whole families, whole sections of the town had been, not. I don't know if it was to the point where people wound up dying, but they found out there was like insane amounts of arsenic in the water table. So. Yeah, like because because we always grow up. I had always grown up here, and you got well water. That's you can drink that, no problem. Oh, you got well water, and nowadays it's like, I don't know. I don't know if that's holds true anymore. So, but it has been a thing that people have done for ages.
Yeah, it's a very kind of old, like traditional, kind of witchy skill. It's kind of its own little thing where people would use dowsing rods to find water. And then it kind of like there's offshoots of other things where people use divining tools like dowsing rods and pendulums to find other things. Or they're just using, and they're interacting with the subtle.
Well, anybody that's ever seen a fucking episode of the damn Charmed show, they'd like use a pendulum like over a map or something to find shit.
Yep.
As a way to find things. That's a very oversimplified way of looking at something. To be honest, that's over dramatized for TV. Because I do think that you can use these things in those ways. I've had I can show you guys. I don't know how well you can see them here. I have to move a few things to get to them. Dun, 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 dun. I have had this crystal, and this thing was at one point in time actually like on a chain. I used to wear it around my neck. This is a phantom crystal. There's like all kinds of little shadows of the
inclusions.
Inclusions in the crystal, but you can't really see it on my camera. But anyway, I've had this thing for ages, and I've used it for those such things. I have a couple others down here, but I also have this huge piece of fluorite. But people have used these types of things, for dowsing and or divining, which is more to the point when it comes to like using. I think when it comes to the point of using these crystals on chains and stuff like that, and even the dowsing rods, it's a form of divination. It's a form of divining information. You're trying to find something out that you don't know. You're looking for water in the ground you don't know that's there. You're divining that information. Same thing with these crystals that people use on chains or ropes or whatever the case may be.
As a pendulum.
As a pendulum.
well, and then we should say is that pendulums kind of come from the old school engineering tradition where you used a plumb line, which was a
Yes.
line with a weight on it to make sure that things were square and level when
Yes.
you're erecting buildings and stuff.
Yes.
So
Absolutely.
it comes from, a building tradition, but then people were also using this suspended, bob on a string or a thread or a rope to interact with the energy field and kind of
Right. To kind of,
and see if it's spinning in a certain direction or moving in a back and forth.
and I think to some degree people over what's the word that I'm looking for? They overreacted to those things. I think yes, you can use these quote unquote devices because literally you can make a pendulum out of anything. I mean, really, you could pick a rock up off the ground and put a string around it, and it's a pendulum. I mean, let's face facts. That's in and of itself. That is, you pick up a piece of quartz off the ground. That is a crystal pendulum. In and of itself. So, but I think it's the intention of what you're doing, the understanding of what you're doing. I think that's what's paramount in the whole thing. Because you just pick something up and start, watching it swing around. You're not doing much of anything. If that makes sense. I think it does to you, but you're not responding.
Well, I think that with the pendulum, because I have one, I actually really enjoy using it.
Yeah, no, I'm not discounting it at all.
It's completely, maybe it's just tuned into what my subconscious is thinking, and it brings my subconscious more conscious. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So the so I like it. I will sometimes sit down with my pendulum and for me, I think it makes me feel more when I use it. It kind of helps clarify how I'm feeling about different things.
Okay. I used to use one all the time. Like I just don't at this point. I don't like most of the stuff that I don't do is because I just don't. I haven't been practicing any of my spiritual beliefs for a long time. Like I still hold to a lot of it. Like and I don't discount the use of pendulums at all, or dowsing. I think they're great tools. I think that in some cases, I think they're over exaggerated.
Yeah, I think they could be. I think there's a lot to.
Well, i.e., like
using one. I mean,
well, I think like i.e., like the TV shows and shit, Holly.
Oh yeah.
Where it's like oh, it falls onto the map like right there. Like that. No, you're understanding energy. It's a little different.
Well, I think you can say that to be about a lot of things, though, that TV just kind of takes an idea and bends it to its own will.
Oh, yeah. No, absolutely. Yeah. But, I think that these things, can be used. I think dowsing is a very interesting thing. It's something that's been around for a long time. And I think that's something that I could get behind, like the whole ley line concept with. Because I'm not a big ley line guy. Just never have been. But when it comes to when you talk about like energy flows, things, and that how they work very interestingly.
Mm-hmm.
Like the people that are able to use dowsing rods with accuracy, they have some fucking stunning accuracy.
Yeah.
Like these guys that can find water, they're good. So
yeah, it's interesting that I was just looking around on the internet for information. Yes, folks, we're last minute researching here.
yeah. No,
that never happens. Never.
Us?
No.
I don't believe it. Katie doesn't work for this show. God damn it.
I know. She's so good.
She's awesome. She finally got her internet back this week.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so everything's going to be back to normal for this week. We're going to do the Pascagoula UFO abduction tomorrow.
Oh, that's exciting. I have not heard of that one.
Yep. And the week after, we're going to do... Have you ever heard of Doris Bither?
No.
She is the woman that the movie The Entity was based off of. She was a woman that believed that she was raped by multiple ghosts. Yeah, it was the Entity. It came out in like the 80s. Starred Barbara Hershey.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah,
I've not heard of that one.
Yeah, this is an old story. So, and I'm getting those in before we go away on vacation. Going out to New York to see my cousin, and his son just graduated, so having a big party for him and go out there and do all that stuff because nobody can have graduation this year.
Yeah, I know, it's hard.
So, yeah. But anyway, pendulums. Wow.
I know. Motorcycle weekend in the...
That kind of sounded like the swinging of a pendulum. It started out really slow, got really loud, and then
Yep. Yeah, they kind of go really fast by my house. So.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't know. I didn't look into any of the history behind any of this. We could do like a whole show about like the history behind it. You know, what went into it. I know, like, there was a time I really looked into it because I was shocked to find out like this is how people find water on their property.
Yeah.
I think I was like a teenager, maybe a little later going into being a
you know,
a 20-something-year-old that they... Am I back?
You're back now, yeah.
I'm back. Yes, my internet's horrible today, I guess.
We are getting a lot of interference today.
Yeah.
Morning and
so I'm like, yeah, I can't believe you can't get the fuck out of here. Like, there's a guy that uses sticks and finds water in the ground, or uses like metal rods and finds water in the ground. He'll cut a fucking branch and go find you water. Get out. Like, yeah, he'll find you a stream. Fuck off. That's how I thought. Like, I was like, and then I started doing some research, and I was like, no, this is a real thing. Like, this dude will come to your property and find water, and you'll dig for a well and have water. I'm like, huh? And that exists. So yeah, no, so it makes sense that you can douse for all kinds of things.
Yeah, you can ask and get your pendulum out and say, how many puppies am I going to have?
Oh, how many puppies? That's right.
Answer.
And if it's wrong, I can chuck the crystal out into the ocean.
Yeah, you might want to get rid of that pendulum.
That'd be a shit pendulum.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe it's not the pendulum. Maybe it's your skillet.
I'm horrible at pendulum dowsing. I'm a fucking horrible pendulum dowser. I come up with the wrong answers all the time. Like, people go, like, they're like, hey, could you find water on my property? They go dig and they find like radioactive waste instead.
Wow.
I'm horrible. I'm the worst dowser ever. I'm like, if I go dowsing on your property, you're gonna have a well like that dude that had the well where that alien crashed. Where the hell was that? In Texas.
Roswell?
And then the well made him like have like the most horrible... He blamed it on the well anyway. The most horrible arthritis. I can't think of the name of that damn thing. It was a UFO crash. Damn, I hate it when that happens. I think of something. I can't think of the goddamn name. But yeah, I'm a horrible dowser. Don't use me. Don't use me ever. That's like you don't want me to tell you future either. Don't have me like read your tarot cards. I'm a fucking pessimist. So I'm gonna give you the worst outcome.
You've heard it here, folks.
Never let me read your tarot cards.
Chris, the pessimistic prophet.
That's right. I'm always gonna find the worst outcome for you. Did you? Hey, this is off topic. Did you hear that? Like they think like they fucked up on the Mayan calendar, and that like it actually ends like now, while all this shit is going on. Did you hear that whole thing? No.
People want to see how bad things are, and they want to make this into an apocalypse.
Oh yeah.
And maybe it is, maybe it's not.
It's a crazy time. It's a strange time. That's all it is.
Astrologically, it is. With Western astrology, if you want to match that up with the Mayan calendar, you go right ahead. No one needs to have one of those modalities tell you that this is a hard time. But there also, if you look back on history, this is not the worst time.
Oh no.
And people get through much, much worse than this.
I think here's what I think. I think that tensions were high already.
Yeah.
And as tensions got higher and higher, it was just, I think it was one of those things where it was just waiting for something. And the something happened to go in one direction, and now here's where we're at. I'm with you, Holly. There's been so many times over the course of my life that I've heard people say, this is the end, that we're in the end times. Mm-hmm. This is going to be the end. Y2K. This is going to be the end. Yeah. I remember I was working at Walmart at the time. People like were wiping out the shelves with generators, this, that, and the other. They thought everything was going to come to a screeching halt. This is not new. But I just think this is one of those situations where tensions got high and things kind of just blew up a little. It's too bad. I hope we can find our way back to some type of normalcy as a people, as a nation. Well, more so as a people. I mean, forget about the nation. Fuck the nation. As a people.
Right. Well, I mean, I think here we'll use our little title, as the pendulum swings. We go from one thing to another. It's actually a good thing to bring up the fact that we have ongoing racial inequality, right? We can't say that was fixed in the 1960s.
Oh no,
it's not fixed.
No, and that's the thing, and the people that sit there and try to say that everything's all hunky dory, like we fixed it, we elected Barack Obama. Really? Seriously? Fuck you. Why don't you take a step into a fucking young black kid's shoes, and walk through their day for a little bit. And then you fucking tell me that racial equality in this fucking country is cool, that everything's meant. You do that, and then you tell me that everything's cool. And not a single fucking one of you could. I can tell you that right now.
Right. It's not that journey or battle or whatever you want to call it to get people who are treated in unfair ways the equality they deserve. That is not over.
Yeah, it's a systemic problem.
Yeah.
It's people can say that it's it's an individual person. We can't go after everybody because no. It's a systemic problem. The system allows it and has allowed it for a long time. In some cases, the system's designed for it. And I don't want to get off on too much of a tangent on this.
Well, it's a hot button thing.
It is a hot button thing, but it is really it's one of those issues that I'm really sensitive to right now, because I think that it's sickening, like the way that it's been used on both sides.
Well, right, and to me, like there's things that have happened in the news lately, and I'm not going to pull out any of those particular events, but they are highlighting a couple of very sensitive issues. One is racial inequality, and the other is how our police force operates, and they overlap, but they can also be seen as two separate issues.
Yes. Yeah, and they also intertwine, and like you said, they intertwine. They're separate, but they intertwine. And changes need to be made. Period. You know, anybody who wants to sit there and say, oh, blah, blah, blah. No. Shut your mouth. Changes need to be made. Sorry. That's the way it is. Be better. You know, this. See, the interesting thing to me, okay, like I have a rational brain, Holly. So I actually sit down and I read, or I pay attention. So when some of these people say defund the police, they don't mean completely defund the police. Okay, which is where the other side takes it. They mean that they want to abolish the police. No. They mean that they want to take money away from the police force. Oh, well, how are they supposed to do anything then? Well, I don't know. How about you ask teachers across the fucking United States how they do their job with limited funding? How about that? That's my fucking take on it. If we can keep cutting funding for the children of fucking America by continually just slashing the shit out of our education system, I don't see a problem with taking a little bit of money away from the cops. And there's also, when they call for this, there have been situations where they have dismantled police forces and built them back up. So in other words, you get rid of the complete structure that's there and you bring in all new. I know there was one place in New Jersey, I believe, that happened. So how about, as a people, we stop being stupid fucking assholes and going to the extremes of everything and having rational brains and fucking doing a little research? But that's not going to happen because we have our little memes on Facebook, and that's cute. So that's what we go with. But I mean, listen, people, it's a sucky time. You know, it sucks. Excuse me. We all just went through this pandemic, which is not over, by the way. And it does exist, ladies and gentlemen. People do get COVID-19. It's a disease. It exists. This isn't a made up thing. There are people who have gotten sick from it and died. And there are people who have gotten sick from it and gotten better. And this, I think that we're going into another fucking wave of it. I don't know how you feel about that, Holly, but I think we are.
Oh,
based on the numbers.
So the pattern of like these type of droplet-borne viruses is it is generally that it will come in waves. You know, the swine flu pandemic in 1918 lasted for about 2.5-3 years, and it came in waves that ebbed and flowed.
Yeah.
As you know, as they thought they got it under control, and then some other outbreak happened.
I think as we go through the summer, it's gonna kind of spike, but it's gonna get worse as we go into the colder months when we all have to go back inside.
Yeah, well, it can.
I think that's gonna be
and we had a huge lot of numbers that were coming from
I
from
think that's going to be
urban
the
centers,
interesting thing.
right? So, up until this point, most of the numbers actually are coming from urban centers, and it hasn't really gotten out into the countryside yet. Oh, you froze up on me a little bit. So what is happening is that it had been locked down into the cities pretty well, but then as we open up and people move in and out of the big cities into the countryside, it's going to bring it out into the rural places where it will be in like pockets, so it could be more, if once it's identified, more easily contained, but there's going to just be series of pockets and flare-ups in different places. Is kind of the way I see it happening.
Yeah, and I mean so we're still not even out of the woods with that, and we've got all this stuff going on with the the George Floyd protests and everything that's been going on with this, and it's just been one thing after another. So like,
Well,
this is one of those years, like we said it a while ago, Holly, just take a breath. Everybody just sit back. Like, there's beautiful things in the world.
Yeah.
There's beautiful fucking things in the world. Go find something. Take a moment. Take a few breaths.
Yes.
Joe Rogan was just talking about this the other day about meditation and your health and how there are breathing exercises that can make your immune system better. Like, take a fucking moment, people. Stop. I mean, and I'm one to talk because I pop a lot. I'll be completely honest. I'll lay my cards on the table right now. I pop a lot. It's something that I've been working on. I have been much, much, much better in recent years than I ever was in the past. I am far better at channeling that. Take a minute, just take a fucking minute, especially when it comes to like your loved ones, and the people around you. I mean, yeah, the people in public too. But I'm taken back, and I've talked about this many, many times. There was an episode of one of the Duncan Trussell podcasts. I can't remember when it was, a long time ago. He was talking about an argument that he was having with his wife about a picture or a portrait or something in the fucking hallway that was getting put up, and he didn't want it there. And he's fighting to beat shit with his wife about this fucking picture in the fucking hallway. And when it was all said and done, he's thinking about it later on. He's like, oh, fuck. I just fought with the woman that I love over a fucking stupid picture. And I could have just let her have the picture in the hallway. Everything would be cool. But a lot of times when we go back and we reflect on things, it's so simple. Just take a minute. Take a minute and reflect on some of this shit and realize that it's not, I mean, if you're going to be one of those people that's going to go out and try to start shit, want to wear a mask. I don't know how many of these motherfuckers I've run into. Like, yes, I get that you want to be a free man or woman and not wear your fucking mask. Fine. Shut your mouth. That's all I gotta say. Shut your fucking mouth. I don't need to hear about it. I don't need to hear about how I'm a fucking sheep because I wear one. Because I feel like making other people comfortable. Oh, well, that's how you rationalize being a sheep. Fuck off. Jesus. Is this what we've become as a people? The mask wearers and the non-mask wearers? What the fuck?
It's kind of like, do you butter your bread on the top or the bottom?
It reminds, you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of that fucking goddamn Star Trek episode where there were the two people on the planet. One group of people, they were black on one side of their body and white on the other side. And the other people were opposite. Mm-hmm. And they hated each other. But that was the only thing different about them. That is what this fucking mentality that's going on in this country right now reminds me of. We're the same. Shut the fuck up. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get people. They baffle me beyond fucking reason most times. Beyond reason.
Mm.
But anyway, that's my little rant for the week.
You get over it. You have it. You let it out. You get over it.
Listen, I fucking got to sometimes this bullshit. This is and this is what these shows allow me to do. I mean, yeah, we get on here, we talk about these fun things, but I always try to be honest about things. And, you know, like, how do you not talk about what's going on right now, right? Like, how do you not address, like, that we're going through a weird time?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know. Like, no, everything's fine. Everything's good. It reminds me of like what things must have been like in like Hitler's Germany. No, everything's good. Everything's fine. Don't mind the train. Fucking Jesus. I can't do that. Like, this shit going on. I've got to fucking address it. That's just the way I am. But yeah, so we just wanted to get together, Holly and I, for a quick one today. And our shows always tended to be a shorter, quicker format than the 40 and slip anyway.
Yes.
But we will definitely try to get our shit together. Listen, people, I've got a lot going on right now. Puppies are coming within like a week. And I'm like a really anxiety-ridden doggy dad. So let's just wrap our heads around that. But anyway, so I'm dealing with that, and I've got a funeral this week to attend. I'll be dealing with that, and there's a few other things on my plate currently. So Holly and I will.
It's not all Chris either. Holly has things to do too.
Yeah, Holly's got shit going on too. So we will try to get our shit together and get back next week with a solid topic for you guys. A little more to the point of our 45 to hour long show that we do. But until then,
Holly
what's
got
that?
woodchucks in her garden.
Yeah, Holly's got problems in her garden with her woodchucks and her father's going nuts, and I'm over here with my issues, and we'll try to get it all straightened out and get you guys a more concise show for next week. And hey, you know, maybe the world will straighten up too. Yeah, but
well, we'll have the last of our 3 eclipses on July 4th, 5th. So after the eclipses, the number 3 eclipse comes through,
and then maybe things will get back in order.
Like astrologically, I think, you know, we'll be in different energy. I'm not sure if it's better. It's different energy,
but we'll be somewhere different. Yeah. All right, until next week, everybody. Stay safe and be good to one another.